dealing with what's the guy's name? Donald Trump. Okay, he has a lot of protesters. But really, you have these protesters. They're gonna protest in April. Next month they're gonna protest in April, and what they're saying is that it's gonna be a very disturbing sort of protesting. It's gonna be very disturbing indeed. It's gonna be uncivilized. All right. Let me use the right word. It's gonna be a civil disobedience. Let's read it anyway. It says this is coming from the Democracy Springs. Right? This is a news article by Washington Times. It says, published by Wednesday of this particular year. So it says, Democracy Spring thousands to participate in largest civil disobedience action of the century. Okay, so we're going to read it. It says, thousands of protesters are planning a massive non-violent civil disobedience campaign, risking arrest to overhaul Congress and save our democracy, which is no such thing as no damn democracy. This is a feudal system as it is. All right? So it says the campaign is set to begin early next month and will involve a massive march. And I believe to be George Soros, to be exact, I believe that he's the one that's funding these rallies to cause the chaos, man. You see? So we're going to keep reading. It says, the campaign is set to begin early next month and will involve a massive march across the East Coast, intended to spark a fire that transforms the political climate in America. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, I remember going all the way back to, I believe, 2011. You know, when it was brought to me, well, really, I'll say about 2009, 2010, when it was brought to me how you had a term such as the auto chaos. All right, because that's what's getting the gold out. You're gonna have chaos, and then through that we'll have order be restored, which is what the higher ups plan to do. This is why you have all of these different rallies out here that are disturbing the peace, because a lot of these rallies are funded by other insiders. One insider that I know only is George Soros. He spends millions and millions of dollars on these rallies. Why are they spending so much money on these rallies? So they can provoke or gin up or conjure up civil disobedience, civil unrest. Because the one thing about these higher-ups, they're getting old and they want to really see this the new world system. They get old, so they're propagating. They're trying to gin up or conjure up this whole civil disobedience among the people, using the media, using agent provocateurs. But it's all prophecy, though. It's all prophecy. All has to come to pass. So we're going to keep reading. It says, thousands of protesters are planning a massive, non-violent, disobedient campaign, risking arrest to overhaul Congress and save our democracy. All right? The campaigns are set to begin early next month and will involve a massive march across the East Coast, intended to spark a fire that will transform the political climate in America. So, in other words, what that sounds like to me is that it's going to be a peaceful protest, but then it's going to go through a rioting protest, sort of, okay? So it says the operation, calling itself Democracy Spring, is threatening civil disobedience on a historic scale, which the protesters warn will result in the arrest of thousands of their own activists. So they're willing to get arrested, right, and all that stuff, just so they can show regular people, look, you know, you gotta jump on this bandwagon. We gotta fight for our nation. We gotta show people that, look, we're for democracy. We gotta restore back our privileges. Because our privileges are being taken away. We're not realizing that these are agent provocateurs that are being set up to mislead you people and gin you people up to follow the whole program. Okay, so it says that this spring, in the heart of the primary season, as the national elections begin to take center stage, Americans of all ages, faiths, political perspectives, and all walks of life will bring the popular cry for change to Washington. So they're all going to rally around Washington. This is so they can make a point. You know what I mean? And the people that's going to be protesting this, they're going to try and, it's all foolishness, man. It's all mockery. Ain't nothing going to change. I mean, you've had protests dating all the way back to the 17th century, man. And ain't nothing changed. Nothing hasn't changed through protesting, man. Even going all the way back to Martin Luther King. Even dealing with Martin Luther King, man, when you had our people, you know, protesting for justice and justice and all that stuff, but that didn't really work. That didn't really go down, man. Because that ain't supposed to go down. And the reason why I'm reading about this protesting thing is because it's all dealing with Bible prophecy. You know, we are the prophets of God and we deal with Bible prophecy. That's what we're dealing with. That's our profession. Okay, so we have to bring out articles such as this. We have to bring out articles such as the protesting, the rioting, okay, the food shortages, the crises, the all different crises. We have to bring these things out because we are the prophets of God. All right. So it says, this spring, the heart of the primary season as the national election begins to take center stage, which will take place in November. And it says, Americans of all ages, faith, political perspectives, and walks of life will bring the popular cry for change to Washington in a way that's impossible to ignore, with non-violent civil disobedience on a historic scale. The movement website states so. In other words, this sort of rally protesting program is going to be bigger than Occupy Wall Street that took place, I believe, back in 2011. It's going to overshadow that. But I highly believe that the majority of these people were funded by certain folks to cause this confusion. Which this confusion that was funded is all prophetical anyway. And it has to happen, and it will happen. As it states in Isaiah 55, verse 11, so shall my word be that go forth out of my mouth, and shall not return unto me void. So it says, where was I right now? It says, it says, he will demand that Congress listens to the people and take immediate action to save our democracy. Because these people, they know that there ain't no such thing as democracy. They know this, right? But basically, they're trying to get regular people get brainwashed into accepting this program, protesting, get your rights back. Because they've already passed legislation stating all what's going on, bro. You know you're an Israelite, right? You know you're a Hebrew. You didn't know that? You're gonna know in the future. But you gotta repent though, bro. You gotta come back to this. Because if you don't come back to this, then you're gonna be destroyed, man. You know? I mean, I know it's harsh, but you gotta do the right thing. You have the right way and you have the wrong way. That's all you gotta do, bro, man. You gotta repent. I can give you the details and you can look at it from there. But now I'm gonna deal with this though. It says, we will demand that Congress listen to the people and take immediate action to save our democracy. We won't leave until they do. So what's going to wind up happening is these different sort of protesters that was set up, I believe that they're set up, right? They're going to be willing to risk their life just so they can get this so-called democracy. All right? But legislations have been passed dating all the way back to 2011 to 2012 and on beyond. How the rights of the people can now be disaggregated and taken away. And how they can have access to all of your goods that you have in your homes. You also have access to your car. Also have access to you. So they passed legislation already. So if the government or the United States government believed that the American people had a say, then we would have experienced that. We would have noticed that. But we don't see that today. What we see is the plans of the elite working forth at work. That's what we see. We don't see the people's rights coming into activation, man. All right. Now we have rights. We have rights, but it's only temporary rights. And it will soon be taken away. So it says, we will demand that Congress listen to the people and take immediate action to save our democracy, and we won't leave until they do, or until they send thousands of us to jail. Along with the unmistakable message that our country needs a new Congress, one that will end up legalizing corruption of our democracy and ensure that every American has an equal voice in government. But a lot of these protesters, let's say if they weren't set up, or whether they are set up, guess what? America is still going downhill. No matter how you flip the coin, no matter how you slice and dice the beef, no matter how you miss the meat, America is still going towards what's the word, man? That desolation, man. It's already set up in the spirit. Even Satan can't even hack it, man. Even Satan can't disrupt what's going to happen. This is the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai's program. Alright? Now, you can come up here and ask questions, but they better be serious questions. They better be serious questions, because I'm going to just dismiss you. You know, because I'm real serious about this, man. I don't play around with this, you know? I'm serious about this, man. You know what I mean? If you coming up here drunk, just keep it moving, man. Keep it freaking moving, because I don't got time for that, man. I'm out here to wake up those that can be woken up, and if you can't see this, keep it moving.
I've got some crack.
All right, you're drunk. Just keep it moving, man. Just keep it moving. You know, and that's the thing, man. You know, a lot of people take this thing for a joke. A lot of you take this life for a joke, man. But you're gonna realize that this thing is dead serious, man. A lot of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're gonna realize that you should have listened to what we had to say. Because these devils are going downhill, man. Don't you see it? Anyway, let me continue on with this. It says, we would demand that Congress listens to the people and take immediate action to save our democracy, and we won't leave until they do, or until they send thousands of us to jail. And I believe that through these protesters, that I believe that were funded, these protesters are gonna probably basically bring forth martial law, where the military troops have to take control of the people. Because out of the midst of that, what you're gonna have is you're gonna have probably other cyber attacks happen. Some madness happens, some setup thing that happens or whatever, and then therefore martial law is gonna spring forth. And what martial law stands for is warlike. Martial means warlike. Okay. So what that means, what that entails also is when the government, the actual government, has no control, but the military has control. The military are going to have control of the people. That's what martial law entails. And what that means is, and what it entails specifically, let me be more specific on that. The rights are going to be taken away. You won't have the right to even walk the streets anymore. You won't have the right to drive your car anymore. You won't have the right to buy food anymore. Okay, this is where it's going to wind up going, the system. And this is why our people, they got to get right with the Lord, man. Because the scriptures say, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. And the fear of the Lord is the strength of his salvation. So our people got to dive into this, man. It's great how it's getting the great news. That's why I'm bold, very serious in the spirit. Because serious times are ahead. The spirit of the earth is conveying judgment now. That's why I'm the way that I am. I'm harsh like this. But really the ancient prophets were like that anyway, you know? But the point I'm trying to make is that a lot of things are going to take place in this world to come, man. Okay? So I'm going to get me a verse on that now. I'm going to get 2nd Ezra. So bro, you got a question or anything like that? Okay, if you got a question, just let me know. Alright, Second Ezra 15. And that's just the whole thing about it, man. Like, that's what martial law entails. Martial law entails how the government has no control, but the military has control of the people. So like I said, you won't have the ability or the freedom of will to walk across the street, or to get food from the store, or to drive your car from down the road. You won't have that right anymore. Because guess what? The military is going to be in control of you. And if you get out of line, guess what? They can use their guns and kill you right on the spot. All right? And some of you are going to be taken into concentration camps too. Because they have concentration camps ready for the people. So we're coming into some serious, severe times. All right? Anyway, okay. Let's do a lecture that I was reading before. We're going to get 2nd Ezra 15. It says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the word of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. Okay? And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Okay? As it states in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Fear not their imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee. The word incredulity means unbelief. We don't care what people believe in, man. We don't care if you disbelieve in what I'm saying. Okay? We don't care if you disbelieve in God. We don't give a damn about that, man. We don't care. So it says, hey, if you better be serious.
Can I interrupt you?
You better be serious. Is it a serious question?
Yeah, it's a serious question.
Okay.
How is it if I told you I'm God and I
I'm
have...
not God.
You're not God, huh?
Well, I don't say this.
Why did you interrupt me?
No, there's different levels.
Why did you interrupt me?
Okay, finish. I didn't. Excuse me.
I have just uploaded 33 movies
Okay.
saying something. I'm really God, and I have come back again because the weapons are too strong again.
But you know what? he just
Every
proved the
time
point.
I'm coming back, you fuckers lie. You left.
But you know what? No, that's all right.
You, man.
That's all right. That's all right. He's fulfilling prophecy. That's prophecy being fulfilled right there, because it tells you in Matthew's what is it 24, right, where it says in the last days some shall come like their Christ. They're gonna say that they're the Christ or they're God. That's prophecy being fulfilled. So this thing is getting real, man. This thing is serious. That puts a smile on my face. That lets me know that we're at the end of this wicked kingdom, man. We're at the end of this bullshit kingdom out here. Okay? I'm not mad at that guy, man. The Spirit of the Lord is revealing the signs thereof. Let's read the signs. That's prophecy being fulfilled right there. So let's get Matthew's, where we at? We in Matthew's 24. So it says, this is Matthew 24, verse 3. It says, and he sat upon the Mount of Olives, and the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the signs of thy coming, and of the end of the world? So we're going to read about the signs now. Yahweh answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Okay? And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, man. But there's a scripture, basically it says, it's verse, 20, I believe it's 20 something. I'll read verse 5 again, so I can follow up through. It says, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ. Okay, he just said that he's God, man. Now I'm not saying that, Christ is God, because it's two different people, but that's still fulfillment of prophecy. Because you're gonna have weirdos that are gonna come and say that they're God. So if anybody is proclaiming to be God, why don't you make it rain? If you're God, why don't you formulate fire on the earth? Why don't you do that for me? Jackasses. Alright, I'm just passionate. I'm not mad, I'm just passionate. But you got jackasses out here that will say that they're God. Well, like I said, if you're a God, make it rain. Make it rain. If you're a God, try and pick that car up without even touching it. If you're a God, try and change the weather. If you're a God, I wonder how many of you can do that. Those of you that are saying you're freaking God, man, you know damn God, man. You're nothing but a damn lunatic that's all messed up and bugged out in your mind, man. It's odd, man. That's exactly what you are, man. Your mind is all jacked up. you're just mentally disturbed. You know what I mean? If you're a person saying you're God, you're mentally disturbed in your head, man. You're bugged the hell out. Because it tells you, and I believe it's in Isaiah, it says that the Lord shall choose their delusions, man. That's a weird, strange delusion. To believe that you're God, that's madness. That's madness. Let's get that in I believe it's in Isaiah 40 something. Let's get that in Matthew's we're gonna get that in let me see something. Because the Lord did say, I shall send them strong delusions that they shall believe in a lie. And this is what we have today. This is why you have crazy individuals that will come up and say that they're God. Come on, it's madness. All right. Where was I? This is 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 11. It says, for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusions that they shall believe in a lie. That entails believing that you're God. That entails Islam. That entails the modern day Constantinople based Christianity. Okay, that entails what the scientists believe. It's nothing wrong with science, because science just means the study of truth. But you got a lot of scientists, they believe in certain things that don't equate with nature. Okay? So a lot of these have been delusional, man. I shall send them strong delusions that they shall believe in a lie. That's right. But anyway, I'm going to get back to where I was at, which was in 2nd Ezra 15. You know, them demons are getting riled up, brothers, man. That's how you know we're at the end of this world. You got these demons coming out, man, and it's crazy, man. You know what I mean? These demons are getting more fiery in the spirit. That's how you know that this society and the spiritual aspect of this society is being destroyed, man. Because Satan is getting messed up. Satan is using his damn mind. You know, you got these individuals coming up on the broad street saying that they're God. That's madness. That is complete madness. That's just complete shenanigans. Alright? So we're gonna get 2nd Ezra 15. This is 2nd Ezra 7. Was I in 2nd Ezra's Yeah, 2nd Ezra 15. That's what I want. 2nd Ezra 15, verse 1, and it reads, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the word of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee, and let not the incredulity of them trouble thee, and speak against thee. So the word incredulity means unbelief. So we don't give a good goddamn if you disbelieve what we're saying. We don't care, because nature will manifest on what we're saying anyway. Okay? That's all it takes, really. I mean, you don't have to believe anything we say. It tells you that in Romans 3, I believe it's in 31. Romans 3 and 31. Let's get that. Or I believe it's Romans 3 and 3. Since I'm using my phone, you know, I just get it in my body. You know, as it stated in the 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, it states that let not the incredulity trouble thee. So we're going to read Romans 3 verse 3. Okay, and it reads, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? God forbid. Yeah, let God be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, okay? So that's all it takes, man. I mean, you don't have to believe in what we're saying, but your unbelief is not going to stop the prophecies from coming to pass. You know, you might believe that this world is going to continue on. You might believe that the Most High don't exist, or God don't exist. You might believe you're God yourself. But that's not going to stop the program of the Heavenly Father. You know what I mean? You might hate my guts, or you might love me to that. No matter how you slice it, man. No matter how you mince the meat. This word is going to be established, man. And it tells you that in Proverbs. I'm going to get that, man. Let me get Proverbs 9:24. I'm jumping around, but I'm going to get back to the point, though. I'm going to get back to the point. So, this is Proverbs 9. Now it's Proverbs is something else.
I think it's gonna change this one. Just keep what you're going to say now.
Anyway, in Proverbs, it states that